You know, I'd been speaking for maybe 10, 11 years. And I got to a place to where I was ready to go to the next level. In order to go to the next level, you've got to spend time and find some people who are at that level. And the person that I wanted to find so badly was the gentleman who led me to my purpose, the legendary Les Brown. I was on a trip. I was heading towards Seattle to do a presentation at a high school. I remember getting a call from my wife. She said, you need to go out. I was landing in Seattle. She said, you need to go to Les Brown's website. You need to go to Les Brown's website. I was like, for what? She was like, just go there. I was like, just tell me what it is. She was so excited. I could hear it in her voice. I could feel it through the phone. So once I got into Seattle, I rented my car and I went over to my friend's house where I was staying, JC's house, and I remember opening up the computer and going to Les Brown's website, and he had a speakers network that he started, Les Brown Speakers Network. Oh my goodness. I was so excited because it was that time for me to go to the next level, but I did not know how to get there. There were levels that you could join. You could join at the $10,000 level. You could join at the $7,500 level. You could join at the $5,000 level, the $2,500 level, and the $1,000 level. So obviously, everything that's within me is go all in. So I said I wanted to go to the $10,000 level. I wanted the whole thing. So after a few days, few months, few weeks went by, ended up saving some money, selling some things, borrowing some money, and I got Les Brown and his team to allow me to make some payments and join at the $10,000 level. I was so excited. And after I joined, I expected right away for things to happen. But it took a couple of months to lock in. I remember I was frustrated for a few months because I had paid my first couple payments and nothing had started yet. But then I got the call in 2003 that I was gonna be the one who Les Brown picked to speak in Kansas City at a seminar called Bringing Out the Millionaire in You. So excited. We were getting on the plane headed toward Kansas City. Remember, that flight was so awesome because I was in the midst of my dream and I was about to go meet my hero, the person who awakened the dream within me, and not just meet him, but spend time with him, learn from him, and share a stage with him. You know, speakers, this would be a dream come true for anybody who had the aspirations of becoming a speaker. I landed in Kansas City, grabbed my bags. I was to meet curbside. I grabbed my bags and walked curbside. I remember a limousine pulling up. I was like, wow, this is big time. And driver got out of the car, chauffeur, got out of the car, grabbed my bags, opened up the limo door, and I peeked in, and Les Brown was talking on the phone to someone, and all you could hear was that infamous laugh of Les Brown's. And I stepped into the limousine, and he looked me up and down, make sure I was dressed properly. And we talked after he got off the phone, and he told me the game plan for the next couple of days and what we were gonna do in Kansas City at this church. And I was so excited, man. My heart was beating so fast, and I was thinking to myself, I was thanking God. I was thank you, Lord, for allowing me to find my purpose and for me to be in alignment with what I'm supposed to do with my life. I was so grateful and still am to this day. Eventually we get to the hotel and we go to our separate rooms, and I was ironing my clothes and getting all my clothes ready, calling my mom and my brother and letting them know where I was and how special this moment was for me. And so awesome. Next day we woke up and went to the church, and Les Brown got up on stage and did what he does. I mean, he was working the crowd, making them laugh and making them shiver and inspiring them to want to run through a wall for their dreams, doing what Les Brown does, a master at working the crowd. And then eventually, out of nowhere, he called me up on stage, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is my time. It's my time. And he called me up on stage and had me grab a chair and sit down on stage as he continued to talk. And I thought I was going to come up in maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. No. An hour later, he called me up. Now you have to remember, as you sit there for an hour, I was no longer nervous. I was ready to roll after that. I've been sitting there for an hour. Everybody's been looking at him, but I was up there, so it felt like they were peeking at me too. Who's this guy? And when is he gonna speak? But eventually, when he introduced me, man, all the studying I've done all the years in the bookstore and reading books and studying quotes and learning metaphors and different analogies and all the things that I learned in Barnes & Noble and Borders bookstore and in my own space at home, all came out that day. It was the greatest speech I had ever given for that day and that time. And after I was done that night, ended up going back to our rooms, and I was so fulfilled on the inside, but still so inspired. And I still had so much energy, but yet I was totally exhausted. I got a phone call from Les Brown that night. Kevin Bracy, he said, "You're ready. You're ready for this. I can see how you study. How you do what you do reminds me of how I do what I did when I was first starting out. I believe in your greatness. I could pass you $20,000 engagements right now and you'd be ready." Are you kidding? Now listen, I'm not just saying that on this video. You think I would have forgotten what he said to me that night? So inspired. Felt confirmed. I was ready. The next day, we did a second seminar. And I thought once I was done, I'd end up going home, right? Well, I didn't end up going home. After I was done in Kansas City, I was on the road with Les Brown for a year and a half, riding shotgun, learning from the best, spending time studying, taking notes, videoing, learning how to do this, going into different speakers bureaus and videoing and watching everything and figuring out the game from A to Z, how to make my dreams a reality. I just happened to be learning who I believe to be the best in the world, the Michael Jordan of motivation. I mean, during that year and a half, I met some of the greatest speakers in the world. Spent time and learned from the late, great Stephen Covey and Tom Hopkins, some of the sales gurus. Next thing I know, I looked to the right because we go to, he was taking me to MegaFest, and we went to Jamaica, and we went to Europe, and he was just putting me before all these great people and great audiences. I remember looking over and picking a picture with Lynn Swan and Kirk Franklin. I mean, I was with the best. I was at the top of the mountain, looking around at the best, taking the stage and the microphone with the best. And I even remember one time where Les gave me an opportunity to step into his stead. He had a health situation happen, and I stepped into his stead at Medtronic, and they were expecting him, but he couldn't go, and I got the gig, and I had to step into his stead and deliver a message. It was incredible. A lot of pressure. Hanging out with the best. After a year and a half, I realized, man, you got a wife at home, you got children. All these applause that you're getting, this is not your audience, this is his audience. I had to figure out how to do this on my own. That scared me, man, to jump out of the nest, the eagle's nest, and figure out how to do this on my own. It was tough, but I had to do it. I had to figure it out at some point. Because I loved my wife, and I wanted to be with my wife and my kids, and I wanted my kids to get the benefit of my personality and my motivation rather than being all over the world. But I knew that was part of my apprenticeship. Eventually, I remember on a flight one day coming from a talk, "You got to do this on your own, Kevin." "Yeah, but you've been all over the world globally speaking with Les." "Yeah, but this is the thought that hit my mind from I think it was a tagline of another company. I can't remember the company, can't remember the exact tagline, but for me, what made sense for me and clicked for me was, Kevin, dream globally, but focus locally. Wow. See, that thought, that concept, dream globally, focus locally, that gave me the freedom in my heart. It made me believe that, man, I can do this in bite-sized pieces. I don't have to be all over the world tomorrow. Focus right in your neighborhood. There's people within a block from your house. There's schools within a block from your house that need your message. There's organizations and companies that are 2 miles from your front door that need your message. You don't have to be all over the world tomorrow. So I broke it down into bite-sized pieces. If you're watching this video right now, and you feel like you don't want to get started because you want to be big tomorrow, because we live in a world that we want to be all around the world. We want to go viral tomorrow. No. Take it in bite-sized pieces, bite-sized chunks. Dream globally, but focus locally. And that's exactly what I did to kickstart my business. I started locally and developed a name as an anti-bullying speaker first. And from that's how it grew. And from a assembly to a program, the Reach One Alliance. And today, there are times, particularly in 2016, got the opportunity. I'm not bragging. I'm not here to brag. That's not even part of who I am. Yeah, when I'm by myself, yeah, I got the Muhammad Ali mentality. I'm the greatest. I'm a bad man. I shook up the world. Yeah, when I'm by myself, but not on video. I'm gonna tell you right now, we gotta talk ourselves into greatness when we're by ourselves. No one's gonna believe more in you than you. I started in bite-sized pieces. In a 4-month period of time in 2016, I spoke 168 times. Most of those at home. It worked. The plan worked. Dream globally, but focus locally. There's greatness in you. Brace up.